At the wedding, my groom, wearing a mask, walked towards me. I deliberately took off his mask, and everyone was shocked. How could it be Ethan, the Blackwood family's youngest son? I remember the wedding invitations clearly stated it was Julian, the Blackwood family's eldest young master. Could it be that the bride cheated and changed her groom at the last minute? The murmur of conversation filled the air. I raised the microphone and looked at the guilty-looking Mr. Robert and Mrs. Eleanor. Julian and my best friend, Ivy, eloped this morning. To swindle my inheritance, the Blackwood family still planned to make their brother, who they claimed was infertile, marry me. Too bad, I'm not that foolish. This wedding is off. As soon as I said that, I took a step and felt my wrist grabbed. He stammered, Don't go. I can have children. Before we continue, please subscribe to this channel and tell us in the comments where you're listening from. Men shouldn't be so concerned with saving face. I pulled free from Ethan's hand. Richard and Catherine came onto the stage and shielded me. Richard smashed his glass, saying furiously, a substitute groom? The family is truly outrageous. All the properties we promised you before are now null and void. Those properties were part of my inheritance, and the Blackwood family's most valued assets. Mr. Robert panicked and quickly explained, Grace, please don't be angry. Although eloped, he will definitely come back. When he returns, Uncle will arrange a re-wedding for you too, okay? Mrs. Eleanor, however, pushed Ethan forward to take the blame. It was this beast who wanted to marry Grace. He also came up with the idea of the substitute groom, Grace. If you want to blame someone, blame him. Don't blame Julian. No wonder rumors circulated that Ethan's status in the Blackwood family was worse than a dog's. Because the Blackwood family simply didn't love him. Even when Mrs. Eleanor falsely accused him, he didn't offer a single explanation. The surrounding guests scoffed at him, but he didn't seem to care at all. And I took this opportunity to play the recording from last night. Don't rush, everything will be clear after you hear this. In the recording, a woman was crying, It was my best friend, Ivy. Julian, tomorrow is your wedding with Grace. I'm so happy. It's just a shame that you won't have your freedom after the wedding. Our plans to go to Norway to see the northern and to Africa to see the great will have to be abandoned. I never knew they had such plans. It seemed they had been secretly involved for a long time. Mr. Robert and Mrs. Eleanor's faces changed. The recording continued, and Julian's voice appeared. He gently comforted Ivy, unlike his usual cold demeanor. Ivy, if you wish, I can cancel tomorrow's wedding. Ivy's tone was very worried. What about Grace? She's my best friend, how could you do this to her? She sounded so loyal and righteous, yet she had already betrayed me. Listening to those words again, my heart still ached. What said next made me completely give up hope. Let my brother, who they claimed was infertile, marry her instead. Anyway, he and I have similar builds. With a mask, no one will notice. Grace loves me so much, she'll definitely understand. The recording ended there, and everyone at the wedding heard a shocking revelation. The reporters I arranged rushed forward, surrounding Mr. Robert and Mrs. Eleanor. It was a pity Julian and Ivy weren't there, otherwise, I would have given them a grand gift. Taking advantage of the chaos, Richard, Catherine, and I left the wedding. In the car, Catherine cursed vehemently. I thought Ivy was a good girl, but I never expected her to be such an ungrateful snake. Catherine said that because Ivy was an orphan, but she was also my best friend. We talked about everything, we just understood each other. Every holiday, I worried she'd be lonely and brought her back to my house. She often Aid sadly, Grace, I truly envy you for having parents who love you so much. Unlike me, I'm all alone. I would immediately hug her and say, Ivy, you still have me. Richard and Catherine would also feel for the young girl and comfort her. Ivy, just consider this your home. You and Grace are best friends, just like Grace's own sister. Unfortunately, that harmonious scene would never happen again. My friendship with Ivy had completely vanished. Yet, she used to be so good to me. In university, when the whole class isolated me, she was willing to hang out with me. She even said, these people don't know a good thing when they see it. Grace is the best, and they're isolating you. But it's okay, now it's just the two of us isolating them. In the cold winter, my heart was warmed by Ivy in this way. Later, Julian and I started dating. I introduced Julian to Ivy, but they didn't get along from the first meeting. Ivy spoke bluntly in front of Julian, Grace, darling, I don't think he's good enough. How about you find someone else? Like me, for example? Julian immediately felt threatened and got jealous. But I never expected them to get together behind my back, even eloping to travel. After finished scolding, she comforted me, Grace, it's okay. Those two scumbags and manipulative women will never have a good life. Ivy will definitely get her comeuppance. Comeuppance? I'd really like to see that with my own eyes. And, fearing I was sad, transferred 10 million to me. He told me to go shopping and cheer up. But I wanted to go back to my apartment first and throw out all of Ivy's things. After all, she was too tainted. My home didn't allow anything tainted. Out of consideration for our past friendship, I sent Ivy a message: "Where should I move your things?" She didn't reply for a long time. She was probably having too much fun to reply. At that moment, her social media update was indeed updated. It was a photo of Julian's back. The caption, "The one I love be. Ut dare not love." I rolled my eyes in disbelief and sent her a few more messages. I didn't hear back from her, but I got a call from Julian. When I answered, it was the first time he spoke to me with such anger. All for Ivy. "Grace, are you really that petty? I was just traveling with Ivy, and you're kicking her out." I couldn't have come up with something so infuriating even if I tried to provoke him. This is my home. Ivy has lived here for years without paying a single cent of rent. Isn't it right for me to kick her out? On the other end of the phone, Ivy cried again. "Grace, darling, didn't you say I could live here for free, even for life? That was on the condition that you were my best friend. Now you're the other woman. It's a miracle I'm not beating you to death." As soon as I said that, Ivy cried even louder, and Julian, while comforting her, warned me, "Grace, don't go too far. Since you dislike Ivy so much, then move Ivy's luggage to our marital home. It's empty anyway." I had chosen the marital home, and I had decorated it meticulously. Julian once said, "Grace, you are the mistress of this house." But now he wanted another woman to move in. I scoffed, "Fine, I don't mind." With that, I hung up and had a moving company move all of Ivy's luggage there. I just hoped Ivy wouldn't feel too disgusted when she saw my and Julian's wedding photos while living there. The next second, Julian sent a message: "It's okay to be jealous, but keep your distance from Ethan. You should have already had your wedding with him, don't do anything out of line." I don't like women without boundaries. Julian was the one who lacked boundaries. Every time we went on a date, Julian would pack up delicious food and fun things to take back to Ivy. I used to think Julian loved her like family because he loved me, but now I realize he might have had his eye on Ivy all along. Yet never told me, even falling in love with my boyfriend behind my back. That scumbag and manipu. Lative women deserve each other. Soon, Ivy's things were all moved out. When I checked the room, I found a forgotten diary. Every sentence inside made me laugh out of anger. It turned out Ivy had been plotting against me from the beginning. September 15th, I heard Grace is Harrison young mistress. I must get close to her and earn lots and lots of money. September 17th, why are so many people flattering her? No, I'll spread rumors that Grace likes to hit people and has violent tendencies. Then everyone will isolate her, and I'll be her only friend. What I thought was warmth was actually the source of all my pain. September 20th, Grace is so foolish, she actually believes I'm an orphan. But I must keep my parents a secret. She even lied about her background. Ivy, which of your words was true? October 1st, why does Grace have such a good family background and parents who love her so much? Well, my parents divorced when I was young, and I never felt an ounce of love. I'm so jealous of her. What she called envy was actually jealousy. She disguised it so well, I didn't see it. October 16th, how can Grace have such a handsome boyfriend, and the heir to the Blackwood family? I hate her, I hate her, I hate her. No, I'm going to snatch Julian. I'm clearly much better than Grace, he'll definitely notice me. No wonder she told me to break up with him the first time they met. It turns out Julian didn't seduce her at all, she was desperate to steal everything from me. November 1st, why can Julian only see Grace? I really want to ruin that face. November 13th, Julian got drunk last night, and I answered the phone when he called Grace. She was sleeping dead to the world, but thanks to her for giving me my first intimate moment with Julian. I remember Julian didn't bring me breakfast that day, and he wore a scarf during our date that evening. November 15th, sure enough, men are driven by lust. Julian is finally mine, but he's unwilling to break up with Grace, he's still inking of her. November 20th, Julian wants to end our relationship. Why? It's all Grace's fault. November 22nd, I compromised, but I will slowly change Julian. One day, he will get tired of Grace. Later, she really did change Julian. Julian, who had always been gentle and considerate towards me, became cold and impatient. He started being overly familiar with other women. But I endured it time and again, only because Julian said he would change. So I believed him. As a result, when I was sick with a fever, they were kissing in the living room. When I celebrated my birthday, they abandoned me to watch stars on the hilltop. Even on the eve of our wedding, they eloped to travel together. So, Ivy was never the innocent girl I saw her as. She always hated me, she was always jealous of me. Yet I trusted her so much, treating her as a friend, as family. In that moment, I heard the sound of my heart shattering. Julian was the one who pursued me, yet he changed his mind. Julian was the most popular guy in our university. Handsome, intelligent, gentle, these were all his strengths. So among my many admirers, he was the first one I noticed. But the most crucial reason I was with him was that he had saved me when I was a child. He had a cross-shaped scar on his left arm, and I had seen that scar before I was rescued. He was the teenager who saved me from the kidnappers. I had searched for 10 years and finally found him. That day, we officially became a couple. But he seemed to remember nothing. It didn't matter, I would make him remember. After that, Julian brought me breakfast every day and accompanied me to classes. He even knitted me a scarf in winter, even though it looked like a broken fishing net. I was still so happy. Because a gift itself is precious, and one that involves time and effort is priceless. That scarf, which I had cherished until now, I immediately threw into the trash can. I couldn't deny Julian's past love for me, but the pain he inflicted was enough to make me forget those beautiful memories. He cheated, and that tainted everything. I deleted all of Julian's contact information and blocked him and Ivy. I didn't want to see them again. But it seemed they weren't letting me go. 3 days had passed since Julian last called me. This time, he called from someone else's phone. He started with, "Grace, I'm sorry. I came back early. Can you pick me up at the airport? I miss you so much." It seemed he already knew I hadn't married Ethan. So he wanted to reconcile. No way. Half an hour later, there was a knock on my apartment door. Had come straight to my place as soon as he returned? I instinctively grabbed a wooden stick, intending to strike Julian hard when I opened the door. Unexpectedly, it was Ethan. I almost couldn't stop myself and asked in confusion, "Why are you here?" "You should be taking your brother to task for the wedding incident, not me." Ethan kept his head bowed. He was 6 feet 3 inches tall. As I looked up, I could see his handsome face. He seemed very nervous. He stammered again, I came for you. Last time. I'm sorry." If only he wasn't a stutterer, it would make it easier for such a handsome young man to find a girlfriend. I replied, "No need to apologize, it wasn't your fault. Didn't your brother ask you to impersonate him?" To my surprise, Ethan shook his head and pointed to himself. Did he mean he wanted to marry me himself? Impossible. I asked him, "Do you have anything else to say?" He shook his head obediently, like a puppy. When I was about to close the door, he put his hand on the doorframe. Strange. I went back to my room, got some snacks for him, almost like I was feeding him. He happily accepted them, and then I pushed him to the elevator. During this, I stepped on a banana peel and almost slipped. Ethan caught me in his arms. In a classic twist of fate, Julian saw this. Ivy was trailing behind him. "Grace, I only left for a few days, and you're already cheating with someone else. How can you do this to me? Didn't Julian cheat on me?" He was accusing me instead. I was about to explain when Ethan spoke first. "No, she was falling, so I caught her." So he wasn't a stutterer? Then why did he stammer when he talked to me? Such a strange situation. However, the most urgent matter now was to distance myself from Julian and break up with him. "Julian, let's break up. Don't come looking for me anymore." Julian sighed and stepped forward to hug me. I backed away, step by step, "Since you like Ivy so much, and even took her on a trip before our wedding, then I'll grant you to your wish." How nice, isn't it? Ivy started her performance, her voice choked with sobs. "Grace, how can you talk nonsense? Julian and I are just friends. Julian has always loved you. I'm still your best friend, how could I betray you? Please don't overthink this, okay?" Julian echoed, "Grace, don't be unreasonable. Are you only satisfied if you push me further and further away?" I scoffed, went home, and brought out the diary. Ivy's face instantly turned ugly, she looked terrified. "Are you really going to deny what you did?" I started reading it aloud in front of all 3 of them. After reading, I also pointed out that it was Ivy's diary. She quickly denied it. "Grace, can you stop slandering me? If you don't like me, I can leave." Even thought I was being a bit much. He shielded the frightened Ivy behind him. Then I started to show the handwriting. "Ivy, this is your handwriting. How could I be mistaken?" Julian quickly took a look and realized it was indeed true. He immediately grabbed my hand. "Grace, everything written in this diary is false. How could I cheat on you? Please believe me, okay? But I shook my head and said firmly, let go. It was Ethan who forcefully pried Julian's hand away. Julian quickly pulled Ivy forward. Ivy, quickly explain, all of this is fake. When did I ever get intimate with you, or fall in love with you? This isn't how the script should go, is it? I presented the evidence. Are they still putting on an act? I had no interest in watching their performance and wanted to go home, but grabbed me, intending to slap me. Fortunately, Ethan blocked her, and Julian grabbed her hand. Her gaze at Julian was a mix of hurt and disbelief, and at me, it was very complex. Ivy, I truly hate you. But I hate myself even more. I truly regret not sleeping with Julian back then. The opportunity was right in front of me. Julian was lying on the bed, but I still couldn't bring myself to do it. Because all I could think about was you. If only you weren't so kind, weren't so good to me. At the same time, I also hate Julian. You have no idea how much he loves you. But he couldn't learn to trust, couldn't learn to confide in you. As long as I produced some fabricated evidence, he truly believed me. He started treating you coldly, he started trying to be good to me to get your attention. You too are so easily fooled. So, Ivy's diary was half true, half false. Julian had never cheated at all. Smack. Julian slapped Ivy, and her delicate face instantly turned bright red. So you were lying to me all along, and you were sowing discord between me and Grace. But I actually believed Grace was just using me as a backup, and that she had a secret lover on the side. Was I really that terrible? I didn't even know. Did really see me as that kind of woman? He once again showed me how revolting this man was. Julian's eyes were red. It was the first time I had ever seen him cry. But I felt no pang of heartache, just a sense of calm. Calmly watching him beg for my forgiveness. Grace, I never cheated on you. Let's not break up, okay? You know, you're the only one in my heart. And I raised my hand and slapped him hard. It was so loud it echoed through the entire floor, and my eyes held only indifference. Absolutely not. He asked, Grace, why are you so heartless? I clearly did nothing wrong. Why are you abandoning me? Have you fallen for another man? Is it him? Julian pointed at Ethan, his eyes full of resentment, like a jealous husband. Want to know why? I can tell him, to make him completely give up hope. Julian, you knew how much I looked forward to this wedding. My wedding dress was custom made 6 months ago. I personally decorated the wedding venue, and I even handwrote the wedding invitations. How much effort and care I poured into it. Yet you, because of a single word from Ivy, wanted to cancel the wedding. Even worse, you wanted your brother to marry me. But I am not property, I am a person. I cannot be exchanged. And you say I'm heartless, but did you see me on the eve of the wedding, collapsing into tears and crying all night? No, you didn't. You were with another woman, and you didn't even notify me before you left. So, in that moment, my heart already died from the pain. I don't love you anymore, Julian. And I will never forgive you. After saying these words, I didn't shed a single tear. I just looked at Julian like a stranger. Because only when you love someone do your emotions get stirred by them. But now that I didn't love him, it felt so easy. Yet didn't reflect on himself. Instead, he repeatedly suspected me of having fallen for someone else. He was truly revolting. I stood in front of Ethan. It has nothing to do with anyone else. I just don't want to continue with you. Julian, get lost. Ivy tried to help Julian, who was kneeling on the ground, but he shoved her away. Her knee scraped and bled, but Julian didn't even spare her a glance. He just cried, begging me for one last chance. How can a person be so contemptible? He didn't cherish me when I loved him, but now that I didn't, he insisted on forcing it. Julian seemed to go mad. He suddenly stood up and tried to kiss me forcefully. Grace, I love you. I don't want to break up. Before he could finish his sentence, Ethan punched him, sending him to the ground. The situation was hard to control. Ethan was like a bull, completely out of control. Ultimately, Ethan knocked Julian unconscious. Ivy hobbled over, helped Julian up, and took him away. How miserable. Before leaving, Ivy glared and said, Grace, you'll regret this one day. How laughable. Regret what? At most, I'll regret not breaking up sooner, and not truly seeing them for who they were. Ethan was also injured, with a dark bruise around his deep-set eyes. I pulled him into the house to put some medicine on him. A strange feeling stirred in my heart. Ethan had only met me twice, yet he dared to hit his brother. What courage. Does it hurt? He just gazed at me blankly, then obediently shook his head. After applying the medicine, I sent him away. Before closing the door, he very softly said, Don't be sad. I heard him. I wasn't sad at all. I hated it when others stirred my emotions. I thought I would never date again. So, it was best to avoid men. This past month had been very smooth for me, and Richard also planned to hand the company over to me. I would start work tomorrow. Today, I planned to go out and buy some suitable professional clothes. As soon as I opened the door, I saw an uninvited guest, Ivy. She looked much paler and thinner. It seemed she hadn't been doing well. I instinctively wanted to ask if she was okay, but then immediately snapped back to reality. She didn't deserve my concern. I was about to leave, but she grabbed my hand, crying with tears streaming down her face, looking very pitiful. "Grace, I'm begging you. Please go see Julian. He's been drinking in bars every day this past month. He's practically drinking himself to death. Every time he gets drunk, he calls your name. He loves you very much. If he doesn't see you, he'll die." I shook her hand off and took out a tissue to wipe myself. "That's his own doing. It has nothing to do with me." With that, I shook her hand off. I continued walking, but Ivy hit me on the head with a brick. When I turned to look at her, she said maliciously, "This is what you owe me, Grace." Soon, I lost consciousness. When I reopened my eyes, I was on a hotel bed. The two people in front of me were Ivy and Julian. Ivy gazed at Julian with profound affection, as if she couldn't live without him. "Julian, I brought her to you. You said you would be with me if you saw Grace. Now, kiss me. Okay? Kiss me." Unfortunately, Julian slapped Ivy so hard it made her spit blood. "I haven't even settled scores with you for lying to me before. How could I ever be with a wicked woman like you? But thank you for bringing Grace to me. What happened before can be forgotten. Now get out. Get out." With that, Julian roughly dragged Ivy out of the room. My hands and feet were tied, and I tried to free myself, but quickly returned, laughing maniacally, like a madman. "Grace, I've missed you so much. You have no idea how much I love you. I truly can't live without you. Everyone online says the best way to keep a woman is to get her pregnant. Grace, you should have my child too, okay? That way, you'll never leave me." I never imagined Julian would try to assault me. He grabbed me as I tried to escape and slammed me onto the bed. I struggled with all my might but couldn't overcome his strength. I roared, "Julian, I hate you. Rape is a crime. You'll go to prison, do you understand?" Julian just laughed even harder. "Grace, I'm not afraid. As long as I can keep you, I'm not afraid of anything." "You're not afraid, but I am. That wretched man, I truly wished him dead." But my clothes were already disheveled, and I cried out in anger. The next second, the room door opened. Julian was shoved to the ground. The person who saved me was Ethan. He draped his jacket over me, then turned and beat Julian until he was in the hospital. I sat there, still shaken, until Aunt Catherine hugged me, and I sobbed uncontrollably. After that, I filed a lawsuit against Julian and Ivy. In the end, the Blackwood family protected Julian, pushing all the blame onto Ivy alone. She went to prison, filled with regret. After a week of adjusting, I planned to go to the office. But I discovered there was a flower shop downstairs from the building. Its unique decor and distinct floral arrangements were exactly like the flower shop I had always dreamed of opening. I was drawn inside. "Hello, I'd like to buy a bouquet." Unexpectedly, the owner was Ethan. There was an inexplicable strangeness about it. Ethan quickly wrapped a bouquet of sunflowers for me. I took out my phone to pay, but he said, no charge." "Then won't you lose money?" I still transferred the money to him and thanked him. "Thank you for saving me last time." Ethan just shook his head blankly, like he was stoic and unresponsive. Later, every time I went to work, I would come to the flower shop to buy a bouquet. I guess I just liked the flower shop, liked these flowers. I simply did things that made me happy, and was very happy too. From the initial surprise, he now prepared them for me in advance. He was a very good flower shop owner. Until rumors started circulating at the office about whether I was dating someone because I received a bouquet every day. From then on, I stopped buying flowers from the flower shop. A week later, Ethan finally stopped me. He was holding a bouquet of roses. His eyes revealed a hint of hurt and sadness. "Flowers. For you. Don't hide. Hide from me." He was still a stutterer, and I felt like a heartbreaker. What excuse could I find to refuse him? Oh, I thought of one. I teased him, "If you can speak without stammering, I'll accept this bouquet." He hesitated for a long time, not speaking, until I turned to leave. He very softly said, "I like you." For some reason, my heart raced, and my face flushed rapidly. I'd never been so excited before, not even when Julian confessed his feelings to me. Did I have a heart attack? No. I didn't have a heart attack. I was about to turn around when I saw Julian rush out from the side, holding a knife. He tried to stab Ethan. I knew it was you, you bastard, who seduced Grace. I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you. I ran over quickly, but Julian still got hurt. He was injured on his left arm. I couldn't help but worry about Ethan. Are you okay, Ethan? He smiled and nodded at me, then glanced provocatively at Julian. Julian was furious. Grace, how can you fall for someone else? I didn't answer him. I just called the police, and they arrived and took Julian away. I took Ethan to the hospital to treat his wound. But I noticed he had the same scar as Julian. I had countless theories. Was this scar a mark that all Blackwood family members had? Then could I have mistaken my savior? The person who saved me as a child wasn't Julian at all, but Ethan. It turned out my theory was correct. Ethan, were you ever kidnapped as a child? He paused for a second, then nodded. I asked again, were you confined with a 10-year-old girl? He smiled and said, yes. In that moment, my nose stung, and tears welled up. I embraced him tightly, my voice thick with emotion. It was you all along. Thank goodness it was you. When I was 10, I was playful and adventurous, and I ran off to the amusement park alone. But I was abducted by kidnappers. They beat me every day, refused to give me food or water. They also planned to sell me to an old bachelor in a rural village to be his wife. But I was barely alive on the way, developing a high fever. The little boy confined with me fed me half a steamed bun he had hidden. I was drowsy and disoriented, longing to go home, longing for Richard and Catherine. I almost fell asleep, but he woke me up. Don't sleep. What's your name? My name is Grace. Do you have any dreams? Think about your dreams, you must live. I want to open a flower shop on a street corner, with flowers lining the entire street. Okay, I remember. Soon, we'll get out alive. When I woke up again, I was already in the hospital. Richard and Catherine were beside me, crying buckets of tears. And the only thing I remembered was the cross-shaped scar on the little boy's left arm. I had to find him. I didn't know how he saved me. Ethan always refused to tell me. It must have been very hard, I thought. Julian was held by the police for a few days, waiting for the Blackwood family to get him out. Unfortunately, the Blackwood family had gone bankrupt. Blackwood was acquired by a newly listed corporation, and the person behind it was Ethan. It turned out Julian had sold him to kidnappers when he was a child. Mr. Robert and Eleanor never looked for him after that, not even when he returned to the Blackwood family alive. No one cared about him, because Eleanor, who was not his biological mother, and Mr. Robert was very cold towards him. Julian even took pleasure in bullying him since childhood. When was injured as a child, leaving a cross-shaped scar on his left arm, he took a knife and carved one onto Ethan's left arm as well. Ant's biological mother was driven to death by Eleanor after giving birth to him. Because was the other woman Mr. Robert kept outside, and she had even given birth to a child earlier than Ethan's biological mother. After her death, Ethan lived a life of unbearable suffering, constantly thinking of revenge. Until today, he succeeded. Julian's previous assault case against me was re-examined, and he was sent to prison. Mr. Robert and Eleanor pleaded with Ethan but were thrown out of the Blackwood family. Penniless, they were forced to become homeless. As for me, I practiced Ethan's speech abilities every day. Whenever he spoke without stammering, I would kiss him. Soon, he could speak normally. He even started saying strange things. Grace is so beautiful, your kisses feel so good. What to do? I'm hard. But I asked him, full of doubt, how is that possible? Weren't you impotent? Who told you that? Care to find out, Grace? Sure enough, I regretted it. That night, we didn't stop until 2 in the morning. It turned out that Eleanor, in order to make Julian the sole heir, had given Ethan sterilization medication. No wonder the Blackwood family all implicitly agreed that Ethan was incapable, publicly claiming he was their brother, who they claimed was infertile, but hadn't taken the sterilization medication at all. He was incredibly capable. In the early morning, looking at his handsome sleeping face, I couldn't help but kiss him. Baby, again. Get out. I kicked Ethan out of bed, got dressed, and quickly headed to the office. From then on, I, who had been a stutterer, no longer stuttered and could boldly express my love. A year later, Ethan proposed to me. The flower shop was also transferred to me, because that was my dream. He had always remembered and quietly fulfilled that dream for me. Later, I asked him when he had fallen in love with me. He said, love at first sight. No, I was only 10 years old back then. He's a pervert. He explained that he hadn't recognized me the first time we met. It wasn't until I spoke as the freshman representative and said, "Hello everyone, my name is Grace." That's when he completely fell in love with me. This secret admiration lasted 8 years, and I finally saw him. Ethan, I love you too. Thank you for listening to today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. We look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments section. Feel free to share your opinions, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting stories. See you next time.